Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to do a little bit more to Drukhari, and I've been having a little bit of difficulty with my matches, needless to say. Since the glass cannon nature of this fleet is really ridiculous in a lot of situations, if I'm not on top of my game on sniping those frigates and taking advantage of my shadow field as a result of that, then it gets complicated really quickly. Also, I come to the realization I've been doing a bad job dodging macro cannons, at least in my opinion anyway, at least with the cruisers. The battleship is a little bit harder since it needs falls maneuver and the Wraithbone shift to realistically dodge most macro cannons. But nonetheless, I do like the potential, the damage potential, if nothing else, even against a Necron match is unreal. It's made me so tempted to just swap out this one Obsidian Rose for the Falling Moon is it with the torpedoes? Yes it is. Since I would get myself 2 extra points, but in all seriousness, what would those 2 extra points really help me with? I am really damn tempted, I'm not gonna lie. Just go straight for the killing blow. It's much more satisfying that way too. But I am intrigued at the possibility of playing the stealthy route and just slowly blind an opponent and then have the means to kill him incredibly fast with the torpedoes. That's the idea anyway. And hell, I do have a backup fleet anyway for said fleet. Just all torpedoes. Maybe I should seriously consider playing around with that some, huh? Since we got torpedoes all around, even my frigates have torpedoes. Mind you, there are only 2 torpedoes, but since I'm supposed to be the stealth aggressor and I'm not really equipped to deal or snipe frigates as easily, I can kind of get away with only 2 frigates in this sense. It might be something I might do for this video. Hold on to that thought. Ooh, Tyranids. This could be fun. I should have an easy time revealing them without a doubt, but nonetheless, they're slow and steady. It's the double rush that in all honesty I need to be aware of. And if my opponent's smart about using their fighters to try and reveal potentially where I could attack, that could make things awkward as well. Especially with the realization I came with in a previous video of how the escort ships now have, the scanner pulse, which terrifies me to death now. Although, we have some... I've been changing my skills specifically for this matchup, so I like to think it's possible. Well, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm very confident in my ability to deal with the Tyranids really quickly, especially if I can get at their flagship, which remains to be seen what it is and what kind of upgrades my opponents are using. So, Disruption Bomb without a doubt, that's great for Star Cannons. Our opponents getting angry, we can hear it across the void. And Micro Warp Jump for baiting possibilities, since I don't think Stasis Bomb is going to be all that helpful. I would argue. Disruption Bomb almost immediately forces a rush out of them, if they don't want to lose all their point defense for the torpedoes that are coming. And then otherwise, I'm trying to think what would be really good. Just the kin crude batteries, I think, for the faster rate of fire, when a killing blow is warranted. Extended range, I question this, but what I found out, ramming blades are actually bugged. As weird as it may sound that I have looked at this ability, it's more for the Eldari matchups. Think about it. The Corsairs are more expensive and they have like the same health pool, so in theory I could be pretty good at that matchup. Although, I'm keeping my opponent waiting again, aren't I? And I have no gas clouds to hide in? Oh, I actually do. Not a very good hiding spot though, with that said. So we'll just go and get started. I'll talk a little bit more later, I suppose, about what I mean, because the Ramming Blade's supposed to be really good at... Well, when you consider the Drukhari used to have 67 armor in one of the beta patches, hell, even the tabletop game it had like 67 armor. At least the comparison is 67 armor anyway. It is a dice roll, mind you, so it's mathematically adds up the same. But when you consider the additional armor and resilience, that made ramming blades really useful in a lot of situations, maybe not against the Imperial Navy or anything that had 83 armor, mind you. Hell, even against most factions that didn't have spurs, I would even argue, like, say, the merchant fleet. If they weren't so cheap, that would probably be useful in some situations there too. But ideally, I was considering it more for the Eldari matchup, since, hands down, that should be the most difficult matchup for the Drukhari. For the simple reason I do not have the benefit, and we see fighters here too. Let's keep tabs on that. I lost my train of thought because I'm trying to consider what my opponent might be doing, if I should reveal myself or not for this objective. I probably shouldn't, although I'm going to reveal myself anyway, am I? No, I don't think I was revealed. Although this was. It's only a single ship, so not a big deal. I flew into more fighters as a result. Okay, so we know where the potential flagship is.
Strategic area.
Yeah, everything's just been revealed right now. My opponent's using their fighters properly, but that doesn't mean I can't reposition.
You have seized
I was kind of hoping I'd
strategic
reveal him. I kind of misjudged that. Alright, run away. Run away. I kind of like this. Let me just scan her pulse again in a moment. Let's see if I could start revealing these, although with the gas cloud there, that makes it a little bit tricky to do. But we know one of them's a hive ship, which is more than likely the flagship with that said. Ah, dang it, that stinks. Had to burn retros at inopportune time there. And I don't think I'm going to handle 6 boarding crew damage, or 6 boarding assaults. But if there's a flag, if there's, was it a frigate here, I could take that easily. I'm just going to potentially lose this one. Yeah, even my assistance here isn't going to help. That's only going to stop maybe one, not both. Okay, so it's an actual cruiser. Can we kill it quickly, though, with that said? Because you don't see us. The cruisers are getting desperately close. And maybe if possible I can reactivate that crew in a moment. Since it's realistically is what I should have waited for. And you just double rush, so this is a prime opportunity for me. I just hope that wasn't a bad shot. Hell, I should have just kept shooting. With my macro cans, with that said. Now, what happened to my torpedoes? Why did that do no damage? I am colorfully disappointed there. There's a lot of boring damage here. I can deal with that some. Oh god, 12 boring damage. I can't deal with 12 boring damage, but it's a start at least. One ship down for a frigate, which I am almost in range to kind of grab. Almost. It's just not going to have a scanner pulse, but it could reveal the ships for me. It helps if I stop messing up with my controls some. This is going to be risky, so I need to get these frigates around to kind of help spot as well. Can this survive the boring? Ideally. Hell, these could do the boring as well, which would probably be a smarter idea. Maybe? Alright, let's get scanner pulses just to see what's going on. Why the hell did I just select everything all of a sudden? Oh, it's because the one cruiser, I suppose. It's gonna survive. This thing's gonna survive. It's kind of being bored to death, mind you, but it's gonna survive. Sadly, that was probably not as exciting as it could have been. So we'll just grab this one point, force their hand some, and I'll just use you to kind of reveal the next ship, maybe. Embrace for impact, probably not needed, but you were safe, you were hidden. And now, well, that was convenient. Can I at least get out of range? I'm stealth, that's the best thing I could ask for.
You have accumulated 25%.
Now, this thing likely has double rush still. So let's keep that in mind here. And I don't have splinter torpedoes to deal with this
You have seized a strategic
Oh, that's a shame. The torpedoes sound like they are a decent hit, not all that amazing. But I did capture a point at least, and you'll be repaired in an hour. I was gonna say an hour, it feels like it might very well be an hour with that said. But you're crippled, you're visible, and I think that's the best result we could ask, is forcing this thing to completely run away. Just gotta be mindful of what my opponent's doing. I want to intimidate him to not try and grab this point behind me, since they seem content to try and grab the objectives, mind you. So if I can intimidate him, that's probably my best strategy. Since I could start shooting this, you'll be repaired in about 20 seconds. I gotta be mindful, that may have been a risky maneuver. Okay, so that was the flagship. We do not see it, but we are outside, technically. Let's see, that was a lightning strike, wasn't it? So that's good to know that's a thing. that you have to upgrade for that. So the flagship's over there. We're going to prioritize that and try and murder it. A lot of my crew's taking damage, but hey, it is Tyranids after all. That would... I am eventually going to take some morale damage. And I have the reload too, the ability, so I may want to take full advantage of that if I can help it. And I have 3 objectives, and have a steady 300-point lead right now. So aside for a ship trying to grab that point on me now, I could just wait here a bit. Can I boost up morale? No. I kind of want my flagship to help in that regard.
The enemy has accumulated 25%
And there's no way it can save you, but at least it's less points if you make it off the battlefield. Otherwise, we'll wait for my opponent to make their move. We kind of know there is a hive ship of some kind. It's a question if I can avoid... Oh, how was I detected? I genuinely want to know how I was detected there. That annoys me. Oh, the fighter's there. Okay, that's fine. I just pulsed, so I know I'm relatively safe for the time being. Okay. Okay, that scared me for a moment, that something was going on. We'll just try and let these... I'm trying to remember if the micro warp jump that Tyranids have is limited to charges or not. Okay, we found the flagship. Keep in mind, this thing likely has the means to just jump. Nope. Since we saw it already in effect, after all. That forced a response, at least, but remember, Devil... It's likely gonna double rush. Alright. That was a little sloppy, but I like the potential. I really like the damn potential there. I gotta remember my hotkeys are all messed up now because my frigates are no longer on Group 3. So that messed me up a tiny bit. But that was a good maneuver. I'm really happy with that play. Maybe not so much the fact that we're losing ships. But you're dead. Everything else will rapidly follow suit so long as I can do good damage to them. And we have one ship behind us. Do I have another scanner pulse with that said? I do on you, but you're kind of going the wrong way. I'm feeling really good for this, but it could easily go badly really quickly. But, amazingly, that did what it needed to. I just now need to kill the morale. What's their loyalty? If I'm reading this right, they have really good morale. So maybe that's not going to be as effective as I like. Kill this thing now. I have torpedoes on something, I just don't know what. Ah, dang it. Oh, the torpedoes did fire. And I took that hit ram like a pro, jeez. I was expecting a lot more damage from that maneuver. But, one more ship? Okay, I take that back. Not one more ship. We have a little bit of work to do still. We're just gonna have to take the ramming damage, and you, my flagship, are gonna try and break the morale on this one thing. Since that should die relatively quickly, I am gonna take a lot of boarding damage though in a moment. So I need to break these now. Perfect. Alright, I thought there was one more ship and that could have cost me horribly. But, with the sheer firepower I have, although, I'm going to have to double check more about the loyalty because I'm pretty certain they're supposed to be easy to break when they have no morale. Especially when they lack the actual upgrade to make the battle cruisers able to have a synaptic link. So that's an important factor for that could have easily been a misplay if they truly do have high morale or high bravery. Hell, I could check it right now. Let's have a look. Well, since it doesn't want to show shields and health, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, clearly. The loyalty is really low for all these, even worse than orcs. Let's keep that in mind, why that's a big deal. And it's just the hive ships that don't have bravery because every single one of these have the synaptic link. At least baseline. That's all I really need to know. It just seems like it was the opposite effect, mind you, when I was looking at their bravery. Okay, Adeptus Mechanicus this time. I should be really well equipped, just because I'm an Eldari faction in general of dodging Novacans, but if I get complacent, or if I use my Wraithbone Shift rashly, that could bite me in the ass really quickly. So we still need to be cautious at all times, but this in theory could go well for me, at least in the long term. Well, as far as dodging Novacans, I don't know about the fact when you consider their additional accuracy and maybe sheer number of lances, if I might have a difficulty fighting this fleet or not. Although, since they don't have access to battle cruisers, the only real lance cruiser they have available is a Gothic, which can't really hit me unless I'm able to hit them. Outside of lock-on, of course. So in theory, I should be okay from at least an all-lance type fleet. In theory. I will still take a lot of lance fire, mind you, if I ever get revealed preemptively, but it shouldn't be too terrible, as what I'm thinking with like any lance-based type fleets like Chaos's Acherons, or maybe my lance fleet that I experimented with before with the Apocalypse and Armageddons. And now I lost my train of thought, since I was kind of contemplating or wondering if I forgot to give my manners or not. But otherwise, this seems straightforward. Let's see, my upgrades are set. Do I want to change anything else? The only thing, if I were to be perfectly honest, that I'm not really aware of is how much of an impact increase the emergency repairs to build back up their combustion gauge is going to impact this match, since I think that may have hindered me or made things a little more difficult in my Imperial matches before in the previous videos. So that's the only thing I'm genuinely curious about. And we have a spread out fleet, so it's not like 5 cruisers this time. At least right off the bat, although I do worry my opponent forgot to silent run with their frigates. If for some reason we're having some hitching, why the hell are we having hitching? Is my opponent trying to do something right now? I was noticing some frame hitching there as I was observing their fleet. Now I will like... I already know what my cruisers are going to do. They might be better for baiting out, or at least dodging the macro cans, but right now, my priority is to try and grab the... Try and grab what objectives I can with the cruisers, and ideally snipe some frigates with my battleship. At least it makes my life a little bit easier. It's just difficult to utilize that advantage to the best of my ability, especially when my opponents are feeling like 4, maybe even 5 frigates. It gets a little bit awkward if I'm not prepared for them properly. And what the hell is going on here? I am confused. If you're trying to debilitate me by wondering what the hell your strategy is, it's actually working out in this case, in this circumstance. Since I don't have the slightest clue what's going on, or clue rather. I'm pretty certain they were in front before, weren't they? Although that probably means there were 2 other ships that kind of salt run. I'm pretty certain they're there as well. Yeah, I'm getting some weird frame hitching now all of a sudden. I don't know why. Unless there's something in the background I'm not aware of. And this is light cruisers? No, it's just regular ships. Alright. And this is just sloppy. There is a frigate, that much is certain, it's behind everything else. Okay, so my opponent's doing the smart thing here. One good thing about these frigates is they can really easily dodge the macro cans, just not the lances. So we're going to turn tail and get on out. And see if we could do something about our cruiser friends here. Especially the flagship. Also, it's important to prioritize these components. That's going to be important because these are cruisers, so they have low crit resistance. I also need to listen for... Yeah, there's still more of this weird hitching. I don't know if it's something related to latency or not. I am not liking it one bit, though. Alright, I can keep firing. Let me just do what damage I can. And so long as I'm out of range, I should be okay. Since I did cripple something... Ooh, I crippled the prow. I'm waiting for a Novacan. I don't see a Novacan. That may have been a bit riskier than I would like. But ideally, the battleship's not supposed to be one take... I would like to keep it hanging back, because it is also the most vulnerable to these Nova cannons. That should have been punished heavily. My opponent's using abilities, but I'm, again, probably doing a bad job controlling this fleet right now. But Prow's gone there, not as much damage as I would like just yet. But now, my cruisers are coming in. I could start shipping this from the side. Hell, I should wait until I get super close, with that said. Let the cruisers try and bait out some torpedoes. I do have splinter torpedoes, so hold this thing still. The battleship will just be a nice little distraction.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And we'll see what the frigates are up to. Hell, if you're just gonna run that away, that's good. Although it is the flagship, ideally I want to try and kill that. Well, this is a good opportunity as any to kill this ship. Although this is getting a little bit messy with the lane C. Oh god, it is lane to C. Good god, I hate this already. I am not liking this one bit. And that was where bad torpedoes probably is a result. This is gonna suck just for that alone. I can push out a little bit, but these ships are dying. Let's just kill the flagship now. Kill the flagship. Only thing left to do here in this regard. Because this will be the death of me with this latency. Because I'm pretty certain it may have messed with my third torpedo salvo. Maybe a little bit too rambunctious, but it is going to burn to death. Now, can I board? No, but we are having mutinies, but the flagship's not dead yet. Keep that in mind. The mutiny's not on what I actually want to die just yet. And you survived, if only for another 5 seconds. There. Cause mutinies. Are you gonna live? No, you're just gonna burn to death, I think. And using my own stasis bomb to... Yeah, well, I guess this is over. Alright, I was worried my opponent didn't know how to use the Nova cannons. They were trying to play them more conservatively, which I can applaud them for. I seriously applaud them. I feel like I could have been punished horribly there, to a limited extent. And thankfully it was not the case this time. But once the flagship died, and the convenient sniping of those frigates, it gave me a little bit more momentum.
Of strategic points.
I still dislike that hitching though, and I thought it was something weird with maybe my computer, but apparently it might be latency related. I'm going to assume. That is probably the last thing you want to have happen with any of the Eldari factions, just because of the need to constantly be moving, and the reliance on torpedoes, especially with my 3 cruisers, can really ruin my day. But it was a victory, at least a solid one, if not leaving myself a little bit vulnerable to certain attacks. I would argue. But maybe they suspected I had a micro warp jump? That's always a possibility. I mind gamed them a tiny bit. Your weird strategy versus the fact I wasn't even using a micro warp jump. Maybe I got lucky. Alright, Tau. This could be fun. I could kill them insanely fast, but at the same time, with all their weaponry focused on their prow, essentially, I need to make sure I do the killing blow, otherwise they're going to chase me down relentlessly. I will be honest, I tried playing with a torpedo fleet there, but due to lack of experience, those matches were abysmal. I did not have the muscle memory, let alone the familiarity, due to basically the last video I did with that, or last match technically I did with that fleet, was back when on release day when I did the showcase video for Drukhari. That was my fleet, the torpedo type build, since the bugged out Wraithbone shift made it a little bit tricky to do harassment builds effectively. So it's a bit of a shame. I tried though. embarrassing disappointment on my end, just due to the fact that I had 4 different ships that all go different speeds. I had the light cruisers included there, which didn't help matters too much. Otherwise, I hope to get back into that when I put some actual matches back into it. That's the main thing, I suppose. Otherwise, it is Tau. I kind of want to make sure my cruisers are behind my battleship, maybe, for when they try and chase after it. They will fly technically right into the torpedoes if I do it right. So realistically, maybe I have them over on the left here, since I think Tau will want to move through here and then grab these 2 points, is what I'm thinking at least. So that benefits well there to an extent. My battleship can turn towards them while flying away from the rest of the fleet. What upgrades do I want though? Disruption bomb, Wraithbone reinforcement might be important, since I'm going to take constant railgun fire. But it's prow base, that may not be as effective as I'm thinking. We'll just go with the slows. And then, okay, my opponent decided to deploy in a different manner entirely. They could be frigates, they could be something else, who knows. They're all revealed otherwise. So is anybody's guess what's going on? Oh, I heard fighters. Oh, there's a custodian right there in the gas cloud. Okay, that was an important note. That's good to know. So 3 of those are going to be warrants, and now everything's all right. My opponent doesn't know about, I guess, being able to put stances before the match starts, I guess. Since I got to see everything but what was in the gas cloud, which technically could be more, but the custodian says a lot there, due to the amount of points it takes up. Otherwise, this should be a quick cap. I'm in a gas cloud too, so I don't have to worry so much about circling around. Hell, you could shift Q to try and keep capturing the points. It's a little bit... I worry that's going to be too awkward for when you have multiple ships, mind you. It's great for single ships, mind you, if you're trying to keep your ships hitting, though. Okay, you have me revealed. What does that do for you? What on earth does it do? Not much just yet. Aside for the fact that there are 3 frigates. Oh, did I seriously forget this point? Damn it. And I flew off this objective as well. Clearly, fatigue at the end of the week is starting to get the best of me. Good God. And who knows, maybe I'm tilted from those bad displays of torpedoes. But otherwise, let's keep an eye out for seeker missiles. Let's just keep it simple for now, since I am in a gas cloud after all, so I'm not worried about them being revealed too much. And they could boost over. I would like to try to avoid boosting though, for the sake of not giving away potentially where my fleet is at.
You have seized a strategic area.
Alright, now that's captured, let's get going. I don't think I'm going to get that one fleet, or one beacon on the right, but it's a good opportunity to snipe some frigates. Actually, let me pulse. Okay, Custodian's right there, so needs to be mindful of that. Needs to be mindful of that. I'm going to be flying right into the thick of their Custodian. At least a Custodian. It wouldn't be so ridiculous to think that maybe they have 2 Custodians. Come to think of it. They're pulsing like up a storm, though. Alright. So we are in pulse range. And my battleship is yet to be spotted, so we could take these railgun shots easily. It's the ion cans that are going to slowly whittle me down. Can we kill this thing quickly? The answer is yes. It's only got 200 health to its name, and the battleship is helping. And your seeker missiles aren't going to do much there now, unless you have another pulse available. Which, comes to think of it, do I have another one? No, I do not. No. Was that the Custodian that fired those seeker missiles is what I'm curious. And let's get you guys moving too for good measure. And ideally, let's not lose this objective. We have really good momentum with 4 objectives. Let's have the Custodian, the Tau player. Ah, damn it. That gives away there's a frigate nearby, though, that just spotted me. So I'm going to take advantage of that fact in a moment. It may not have a scanner pulse, but as soon as it gets the objective, I will be okay. What has the pulse? Well, you have the pulse. And apparently... Oh, it probably has extended sensors, mind you. That might be what's going on here. Nothing was marked. I'm a little bit annoyed by the fact I'm doing a bad job with the shadow field. But if my opponent doesn't want to do anything, I'm fine with it. I'm kind of a little bit disappointed if they don't try otherwise. Since that doesn't make for much of an interesting video, does it now? I always think that's a safe assumption to make, but it is what it is. And I don't need to fight them head on. That's kind of what the Tau player wants, in all honesty. Unless I'm ready to commit with torpedoes, that would be the exception. Okay. I can happily deal with those. I don't have a micro warp jump, but I can happily deal with those.
You have accumulated 25%
Okay, war spear
strategic
and other
points.
things. So they're capturing it quickly, but we'll deal with them momentarily. I just gotta make sure the Wraithbone shift's available. Okay, that's a different story altogether, but I have torpedoes. Now I'll demonstrate why these torpedoes are a big deal.
Seized a strategic area.
That was not the ramming attempt I wanted, damn it. And there's a lot more ships than I expected as well, which kind of makes things awkward. So now we gotta manage this properly. I do have stealth. You're probably gonna burn to death though, so let's be careful of that. But these are easy sauce kills if I can hit them with it. Because you're kind of losing focus on the rest of these sauces right now. Yeah, you're gonna sadly die, but can we board and do some damage of note? Well, sadly I burnt all my combustion gauge, but another sauce's gone. Scanner pulse is gone. We could still... I could kill one more sauce and we'll be in good shape for the rest of this. And we have some good boarding damage too, but shadow field needs to come back up. We know where they're at. They're not fooling anyone, although they could be salt running at this point, so gotta still take this seriously. Now, we'll give him what he wants. I'm gonna get out of the gas field, I guess. Ideally, let's not fly into... I gotta remember, this is the one that was crippled, so probably the worst target to go after, especially since I just wasted my final torpedo salvos on that cursed thing. Can we board it? Nope, 20 seconds. Alright, let's keep hitting. I was hoping to have double boarding there available, but not meant to be. But it's only one sauce. So long as I don't get rammed, I'm in good shape.
Seized a strategic area.
So this is where my focus needs to be, on this fleet right here.
The enemy has accumulated 25%.
Can you board? You can
strategic
board,
points.
finally. Finally things can go my way. And I can board you again for good measure. Since I'm quite capable at boarding with the Drukhari, I just don't have the morale to compensate for that matter. And I should try and spread out my two cruisers so that way they are not both hitting at the dang prow. And I don't have the rapid fire ability, but or at least to rapidly fire my scythe missiles. I forget, the kin crude batteries, I think? I can't remember what the damn thing's called. But we can finish this thing off. Hell, we can finish almost everything off. There's thankfully been no boarding or bombers, but with no frigates, that's a bit of a problem for you. Oh, and because... Oh, you didn't have your reload either. Maybe, oh, it's because the deck was destroyed. That's the problem. So you get on out, frigates. I might as well do something useful for you. Ooh, and you're about to lose... You're about to lose this ship completely. The crew's almost gone. And that was basically with what? Did I actually board that twice? Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's with 2 boardings, so that's really easy to kill off those light cruisers. Just due to the effectiveness alone, never mind the 70% critical hit chance as well if I do that properly. I would have loved to give you a proper torpedo match, but at least that should be satisfying enough. That and the other two matches. I just would have loved to. It does require me to get back into practice with that fleet, I suppose. And how's the crew here? I don't think I could kill off the crew with one more boarding assault, but it is tempting nonetheless to do. Because you're kind of standing there for me to hit you right now. It's thankfully no bombers, but I think the vision is more warranted since I got an easy way to fly on out. If I were to be honest. So I don't think we're going to kill the crew, but it's mutiny. It is breaking. I'm okay with this result. Now, all we have to do is clean up and... Well, the crew war spear is going to be problematic. There's one little subtle rule that you may not be aware of, is the fact that these things, they should have tracking, yeah. Since I was concealed, you didn't get to see it in action, but okay, actually, the crew war spear fire in my battleship's a perfect demonstration. The Chaos, some of the Chaos macro weaponry, and almost all, yeah, pretty much all the Eldari factions have access to tracking weaponry, which basically means even though they follow the same accuracy rules, it's impossible to dodge them. I'm going to just demonstrate. Well, that's a bad demonstration. Yes, even though I try and dodge them there, they can turn and follow after me. The only reason they probably didn't hit there was because of the match ending. So dodging those kind of projectiles are incredibly infuriating. It's basically impossible almost. The only way you can realistically dodge them is if you get outside their range. So that's something really important to note for all the Eldari factions, or really anything that's relying on their mobility. Like the Sauces of the Protector Fleet, or maybe even the Chaos Fleet. They are still likely to hit you. They just, again, as weird as it may sound for tracking weaponry, they still follow the same accuracy rules as all the other macro weaponry. Since these Scythe missiles also track targets, which allows you to keep hitting a target even though they're actively dodging your attacks. But otherwise, that was still a fun match. I still feel like I'm messing up on my controls though. So this is a sign I should probably put this to bed, at least for now.